Hi everyone and welcome to episode 12 of Coffee with Cheese. I'm your host Narciso Bomben. I hope you're all doing well. What I wanted to start focusing again on this week was the upcoming tax season. So it's still a couple of months away at least, depending on what your reporting or filing deadline is. And I'll certainly spend some additional time throughout the upcoming months on various topics, but I wanted to do a bit of an overview today. And the first thing I wanted to start with is deadlines to file. Now keep in mind, we're coming off a year and we're still in a COVID year, but in last year, in 2020, when we filed our 2019 taxes, the government allowed us to push back both the filing of our taxes as well as the payment if there were any taxes owing. So there hasn't really been any decisions made for this year, just to be clear. I had read an article in my newsletter. It was a great article from Jamie Gollenbach, an industry expert who I took some tidbits from, that talked about the CPA, the Chartered Professional Accountants Association, talking to the CRA about what's going to happen this year. So stay tuned. But as of now, the regular tax filing deadline is April 30th. If you're self-employed, it's June 15th, right? So that's as of right now. So just a reminder, I'd be planning to file and pay any taxes owing by that time. But if something changes, then you'll be given a little bit more time. So leads me to my next point, and that's collaborating with the professional advisors in your life, starting especially with your accountant, but also someone like myself, your financial planner. Because there are opportunities, depending on what taxes may be owing and your personal situation, to be proactive around reducing that taxable income, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But in addition to being proactive, it's also good to understand, not unlike last year, are you going to be able to get together in person with your professional advisors and your tax preparer? Are you going to need to maybe do it remotely through video technology and signing digital forms? And certainly filing your taxes electronically is always a good thing, and most accounting professionals do that as it's much more efficient. But I'm focusing more on just getting a head start, getting some time booked if you haven't already done that, to make sure you're making thoughtful decisions around what your tax season is going to look like. Now, speaking of the COVID tax season, as the title of this video is on, I wanted to spend a little bit of time just reminding you of the various government benefits that were paid out last year. Certainly the most common one was the CERB, the Canada Economic Recovery Benefit. But there were others, and actually for this one I'm going to have to do a little bit of a cheat sheet and look down, because there were a number that were released throughout the course of the year. The Canada Emergency Student Benefit, the Canada Recovery Benefit, Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit, and then the Canada Recovery Caregivers Benefit or Caregiving Benefit. So be aware of this. The reason why I want to bring it up is certainly the last few that I mentioned that were released throughout the tail end of last year, there was a 10% withholding tax, but for something like CERB that impacted over 1 million Canadians, there was no withholding tax. So you're going to get either a T4A or a T4E, depending on the benefit, from the government. It's an important slip that you need to provide to your accountant in order to make sure that it's included as part of your taxable income. So again, depending on the rest of your income from 2020, the marginal tax rate on that CRB, the CERB as an example, could be nothing if that's all you collected and it's under your personal basic amount. But if you earned other income, you could be paying 10, 20, 30% plus tax on that CERB amount. So it's very important that you're proactive around this and you're prepared, okay? So speaking of which, there is still a week, give or take, for this year's, well, I guess for the 2020 tax season, RRSP contribution deadline. I've talked about this in previous videos, but I'm going to bring it up again because there's 1 week left. You still can be as proactive as possible, that if you have contribution room, you're able to mitigate those taxes owing by reducing your taxable income and making a contribution to either your RSP, or if you're in a situation where you've opened up a spousal RSP for other tax planning reasons, then to make a contribution there. The key thing is the contribution's made in your name, and it allows you to lower your taxable income for the 2020 tax year. So in summary, as of right now, the deadlines to file your taxes and e-taxes owing are the same as historical years, April 30th for regular income earners and June 15th for self-employed. No changes, stay tuned, that might change. Collaborating with your professionals, both your accountant, your financial planner, are critical pieces to make sure that you're proactive versus reactive around the tax season. Don't forget about those government benefits. If you did collect them, they are going to play a role in your tax season. So just be thoughtful around it. And again, with about a week to go, depending on when you're watching this video, so March 1st, the RRSP deadline for 2020 contributions, you still have an opportunity to lower that taxable income if need be. So with that, I want to thank you for watching again. As always, feel free to post any comments, questions, reach out. If you'd like to have a one-on-one virtual coffee with me, it'd be my pleasure. Just reach out and we'll find a time that's convenient for all parties. Thanks for watching and have yourself a great rest of the day.